Missed calls from my ex. A dozen different things you wanna ask. Please shut it all down. I wanna feel two different hands on my body.
Alright, what's up? Good evening, everyone. Alright, so let's take a look at the total crypto market cap to get the night started. I hope you're having a good night, Norm. Okay, so Stochastic's coiling up, looking like it may attempt to cross bearish soon. MACD still shows bears losing a bit of momentum though, so that's looking alright. And I'm just seeing some indecision going on here on the weekly candles currently. Daily we do have bearish momentum growing, and the stochastic is currently crossed bearish. Kind of starting to coil up, but there's definitely still room to go to the downside on the RSI if it does decide to dump further. So if we do continue to get a further pullback, ideally we would like to see the 1.495 trillion level hold on total crypto market cap. And if we see it form either a double or a triple bottom around this range, it's going to be looking much nicer at that point for a potential rally. We are quite oversold on the RSI, and looking like there's a tiny bit of bullish divergence present. Bears losing momentum, and the stochastic is slightly bullish, but coiled up like it's attempting to decide which direction it wants to go on the 4 hour. And the 1 hour's not really looking the best right now either, attempting to bearishly engulf on the candles. There is some bullish divergence right here, but the RSI only got up to around 45, and now it's attempting to come back down and fall further basically. Stochastic crossed bearish, looking like the bulls are consistently losing momentum currently. It's looking more likely that we may see another pullback, so that will be fine as long as we can hold these levels here. I won't be that worried at that point. And right here where the wicks are, this fib level would be the 0.5. So if we were to come down and form a double or a triple bottom here, that would be looking very, very nice for a powerful reversal and rally at that point. But we're going to have to keep a very close eye on here in the coming week to see if this either holds or breaks. Okay, so for Bitcoin, same thing on the MACD, 3 weeks straight of bears losing a bit of momentum, but the stochastic's coiling up like it may attempt to cross bearish. RSI still has lots of room to run to the downside if it really decides to, and it's looking like it's kind of wanting to pull down a bit further. And I'm seeing some indecision going on the candles on the weekly as well. It's not quite bearishly engulfing on the candles yet, but it's attempting to. RSI is kind of flattening out right here, but I'm not liking the looks of the stochastic or the MACD currently. Bearish momentum growing, and the stochastic is crossed bearish. Four hours looking a bit nicer. We're quite oversold here. Stochastic is crossed bullish, and the bears are losing momentum currently. So same thing as total crypto market cap, we can fall further and still be fine, but ideally we would like to see this, let's see what the fib level is here. So that would be the 0.5 fib level as well for, yeah, 0.5. So that'd be $39,477 US. So that's what we would like to see hold here, and if that ends up going back a bit further, the 618's kind of a final support I'd like to see hold. So 32,485 for there. So if we do continue to pull back a bit further and this support level holds, I'll be liking the looks of Bitcoin and total market cap quite a lot, but right now it's kind of looking more bearish than bullish to me for at least the next couple of days. And as we see more information develop, then we'll be able to get a better idea on what's going to happen on the larger time frames and if we're in for another final rally for the cycle. For the 1 hour, we do have a bit of bullish divergence right here. Stochastics cross bearish though. RSI is pointing down like it wants to go further to the downside. Candles bearishly engulfing currently, and the bulls are losing momentum on the MACD. So same thing as total crypto market cap. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if we're in for some more downside on Bitcoin. I'll check out another asset or two, and then if there's anything you guys want me to check out for you tonight, just let me know. Okay, so Ethereum, 3 weeks straight of bears losing momentum. Stochastics coiling up like it's trying to decide what to do. RSI is kind of looking like it does want to keep on going to the downside a bit, but the candles are just showing consolidation. Daily's not looking that great on Ethereum. 2 days straight of bears gaining momentum. Stochastics crossed bearish. Still lots of room on the RSI to run to the downside if it does decide to go. And that bearish engulfing candle's not looking nice. I'm pretty well expecting whatever happens to total crypto market cap to play out on Ethereum. So if total holds, Ethereum will probably hold and get a nice rally. But if not, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more downside, especially with the looks of how we have this double top going on right here. So the recent low that would be nice for Ethereum to hold would be around 2,180. If we see it pull back a bit more and hold that level, I'll be liking the looks of Ethereum, but I wouldn't really be surprised if we are in for some more downside on this asset. The RSI is quite oversold. Stochastics coiling up. It looks like it just got a slight bearish cross. And the MACD does show the bears losing a bit of momentum. And the 1 hour could be looking better for sure. Bearish engulfing. RSI is not quite oversold yet, but getting close. There is a bit of bullish divergence right here as well, but if we end up pulling back further, the RSI may form a lower low than there, which would invalidate that. Stochastics crossed bearish, and kind of a bit of bullish momentum getting weaker as well. Alright, so for XRP, I'm really liking the looks of these candles on the weekly here. 2 bullish engulfing candles in a row. RSI is actually looking nice, like it's attempting to get back around neutral and maybe even run. Stochastics crossed bullish, and 3 weeks straight of bearish momentum getting weaker on the weekly. So I'm probably going to say that XRP is my favorite chart on the weekly that I've seen so far today. Stochastics coiling up, but we are currently bullish. Bullish momentum's getting weaker here. The RSI is more around the bullish control zone, and it's looking like we have a bull flag going on right here, which more often than not, that does end up breaking to the upside. The 4 hour, the MACD is flattening out a little bit. Stochastics crossed bearish. And we're pretty well neutral on the RSI, and I'm just seeing some consolidation going on here on the candles. So for the 1 hour, still got room to go to the downside on the RSI. Stochastics crossed bearish, and the bearish momentum's getting stronger here. We also have some pretty significant bearish engulfing candles going on here on the 1 hour. If the total crypto market cap either holds or runs, I think XRP is very likely going to be in for a nice rally to the upside. And if we get any movement like we've seen back in 2017, could be a very, very parabolic rally up too for this asset. Alright, so let's see how Casper Labs is looking today. Definitely seeing some consolidation going on here on the weekly. Not much information on the indicators yet, as this is a newer asset. On the daily, the stochastic is attempting to come around and cross bullish, which I'm liking the looks of that. The bullish momentum is getting a bit weaker though, but there's just some pretty significant consolidation right here on the daily. And we're pretty close to the bottom that we've had on it. So 6.6 cents roughly. And we're at 8.3 cents right now. So this is one asset that I like the accumulation zone on where we're at for it. That 4 hours looking alright as well. Bearish momentum getting weaker, stochastics crossed bullish. The RSI is kind of coming down, like it maybe does want to make another attempt at the dump. But same thing as the other time frames, just looking like we have a very significant floor right here, which I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up holding, especially if we consolidate on the total crypto market cap instead of dumping hard. Yeah, the 1 hour could be looking better. Getting around the bearish control zone on the RSI, lots of room to go to the downside. Bearish stochastic cross, bullish momentum getting weaker here, and it's pretty significant bearish engulfing here on the weekly, or the 1 hour. Alright, so for Quant, stochastics coiling up, looking like we got a very slight bearish cross. Kind of just seeing consolidation on the candles here. RSI is getting more around the bearish control zone. So on the daily chart here, we have bearish engulfing candles. So the candles just keeps getting lower and lower here. The RSI has more room to go to the downside if it wants to. Stochastics crossed bearish, and bearish momentum building on the MACD. So that's not really looking that great there. We got a little bit of attempt at bearish engulfing on the 4 hour. Quite oversold on the RSI though. And bearish momentum's getting a bit weaker on the MACD. And the stochastics coiling up on the 4 hour as well. And as for the 1 hour, I'm not liking the looks of that either. Still room for it to go to the downside a bit on the RSI. The stochastics crossed bearish. Bullish momentum's getting slightly weaker, and bearish engulfing candle here. So I personally wouldn't really be surprised if this asset's in for a further pullback. And around this $90 level is looking like a very solid floor on Quant so far. Yeah, not quite any bullish divergence on here on the 4 hour yet, but if we see one more dump, maybe that'll develop as well. Alright, now let's see how API 3 is looking. So, newer asset, so we don't really have much information on the indicators yet. Very nice rally on this asset this week though so far. Yeah, I'm loving the looks of this on the daily. That's a very powerful rally and some very nice bullish engulfing candles here. You're in a pretty tight range here, but once that finally broke, it just shot right up. So that's looking nice. The RSI is quite overbought currently, and the stochastics still crossed bullish though, so maybe it has a bit more gas in it for a bit more of a rally. Yeah, and I'm really liking the looks of the 4 hours so far. We got a nice bull flag going on here. The RSI got significantly overbought here. It's looking like it is making an attempt at running again though. Stochastics cross bullish. The bullish momentum is getting a bit weaker on the MACD though. Yeah, I'm loving the looks of the 1 hour here. Bearish momentum getting weaker, stochastics cross bullish, lots of room to run to the upside on the RSI still, and it's looking like it's attempting to, and bullish engulfing candle. So I'm thinking it's looking like this asset does have some more gas left in it for a nice rally from here. Which, probably around $10 or so wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if this continues and gets another pump from here. And I'm liking the way that the RSI just formed a higher low here as well before attempting to run again. So overall, this asset's looking quite bullish to me right now. One of the nicer looking charts so far today. Anything you guys want me to check out for you tonight? Alright, so Alliance block. No, that's not looking nice on the weekly. Bearish engulfing. RSI still has room to run to the downside. Stochastics coiling up, but it is still bearish. And we're just slightly losing bearish momentum here on the MACD. Daily's not looking great at all either. Bearish engulfing on the candles. RSI is pretty oversold, so that's looking alright at least. Stochastic is pretty clearly crossed bearish, and the MACD shows bears building momentum. So this could definitely be in for some more downside. So the bottom of the fib extension would be 16 cents. And we're currently at 28 cents. So about a 12-cent difference if it does decide to drop and make an attempt at forming support at the very bottom here. Four-hour, same deal, bearish engulfing candles, RSI's pretty oversold, but still looking like it's attempting to go down a bit further. Stochastics crossed bearish, and bearish momentum's building on the MACD here. RSI's looking like oversold, but still attempting to pull back further. The stochastic is currently cross bullish, and the bearish momentum's getting weaker. But the way that we have this bearish engulfing candle here, I'm not liking the looks of that whatsoever. So this is definitely looking more bearish than bullish to me on Alliance block. Whenever you just get consistent lower thick parts of your candles each time that you get a new candle, that's not looking good. It's looking like it's just attempting to keep on dropping further and further here. So we're going to have to wait to see some more signs of reversal before it looks nice for a long, but this is definitely looking pretty bearish to me on Alliance. Alright, so Hex. Little tiny bit of bearish momentum attempting to build. Stochastics cross bearish. RSI's getting more around the bearish control zone. And it's looking like the candle's making an attempt at bearish engulfing here. Same thing with the daily, making an attempt at bearish engulfing. RSI's getting close to oversold, but not quite yet. So still has room to go down further if it wants to. Stochastic's kind of coiling up like it may attempt to cross bullish soon, but that's still cross bearish for now. And the MACD's also looking like the bears are gaining momentum. 4 hours looking a tiny bit better. RSI's quite oversold, and we were just very oversold here. Stochastic's coiling up like it's attempting to decide which direction to go, and the MACD shows bears losing momentum. 1 hour's not looking great though. I was thinking maybe the 1 hour might be able to hold up the 4 hour, but I'm not liking the looks of the 1 hour here either. Bearish engulfing candle, bearish control zone on the RSI with room to drop further, stochastics crossed bearish, and the bulls are losing momentum here on the MACD. Alright, so Thor attempting to bearishly engulf on the weekly. Also bearishly engulfing here on the daily. The MACD does show the bears losing a bit of momentum, but the stochastics also crossed bearish, and there is room for the RSI to drop further if it decides to, although this is kind of flattening out here. Hmm. 4 hours looking so-so. It's looking like it's kind of attempting to form support here, but RSI is pretty close to oversold. Stochastics coiled up, and the MACD shows the bears losing a bit of momentum. So it's looking alright for maybe potential consolidation, but still not looking the greatest. 1 hour bullish divergence, stochastics crossed bullish, and the MACD's building bullish on the 1 hour. So maybe the 1 hour will be able to hold the 4 hour up, and we'll get a more significant bullish cross here. So we'll have to wait to see how this plays out over the next 2 or 3 days for Thor. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for more information to develop on this asset before I really have a better idea on what's more likely to happen here. Alright, so now power. The bears are losing a tiny bit of momentum here. Stochastics coiling up like it's making an attempt at a bullish cross. The RSI does have more room to get down to the downside further if it decides to, and we are in the bearish control zone on it. And past few days it's been bearishly engulfing, and it's just kind of holding on here for now currently. Yeah, the 4 hour was just quite oversold, and now we're getting just around whenever it starts to get back into neutral territory. Well, not neutral, but bearish control zone. Anything below the 30 on the RSI would be quite oversold. And the MACD shows bears losing momentum with a bullish cross. Not really seeing anything very significant going on the candles here, just some consolidation, which we could see that before it decides to dump further. Yeah, the RSI is getting closer to neutral. A lot of consolidation on the candles on the 1 hour. Stochastic is cross bullish with some bullish momentum growing. But just based on the daily, well, I'm liking the looks of the MACD, so maybe if it does end up holding and we get a slight pump, that'll bring the daily MACD back, or stochastic back around. And that could give us a nice rally at that point. So I'll be keeping an eye on this, as this is pretty tightly wound right now. And with that little bit of bearish momentum getting weaker, maybe there is starting to be a bit more case for a potential reversal, but another asset we're going to have to wait for more information to develop on before we have a better idea on what's really going on. And let's take a look at gold and silver before we get the market open on Monday, since I don't do streams on Sundays. I'm absolutely loving the looks of gold on the weekly chart. Bullish momentum growing, bullish stochastic cross, bullish control zone on the RSI with lots of room to still run if it wants to. And we're bullishly engulfing above this previous high here. So if we can get a higher low above the fib level here, the 236, and if we get a higher high above 1,920, I will absolutely be loving the looks of gold for a potential new all-time high rally, which I think this could make some astronomical new highs for the price of gold at least, which is a slower moving asset. Very powerful bullish momentum on the MACD on the daily, stochastics crossed bullish. The RSI is currently overbought, but very significant bullish engulfing candles here on the daily. 4 hours got the bulls losing a bit of momentum and the stochastics coiling up a bit, but still bullish. RSI got close to that 70 level, but now it's just kind of flattening out, going slightly up higher. Bearish momentum getting weaker on the 1 hour, bullish stochastic cross, and the RSI is looking like it is attempting to make a little run up to new highs. And just very slight bullish engulfing candle on the 1 hour. Overall, I'm really liking the looks of gold right now, and if we see that higher high and higher low, I'm thinking that there's a very nice chance that this is going to see new all-time highs at that point. So silver I'm really liking the looks of as well right here. We got a nice double bottom here. Stochastics crossed bullish. MACD's got a little bit of bullish momentum getting stronger and bullish engulfing candles here. Bullish momentum getting stronger on the daily, bullish stochastic cross, bullish control zone on the RSI with lots of room to run higher, and bullishly engulfing. 4 hour MACD kind of looks like it's flattening out a bit, and the stochastic's coiling up like it's attempting to get a nice bearish cross. And that's already crossed bearish, but just wound tightly like it's attempting to decide which way to go. And we do have some bearish divergence right here on silver on the 4 hour. So you can see that the RSI goes from a high to a lower high, but the candles are just trending upwards, so that'd be a bearish divergence. And on the 1 hour, very slight bearish momentum getting stronger, bearish stochastic cross, RSI is getting closer to that neutral zone, and very slight bearish engulfing. If gold ends up getting a nice rally next week, I think silver is more likely to run than dump, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit more of a pullback on this asset, which if silver pulls back, ideally we would just like to see a high above 22.14 or 22.03. But if it does pull back a bit further and we end up dropping down to 21.51, if we just get either, we already got a double bottom, so if it were to come down here and form support and we get a triple bottom, silver will be looking very powerful for potential reversal to the upside, which this is currently a nicer accumulation zone than gold. Gold, we're currently above the 236 fib level. Meanwhile, on silver, we're under the 618, which this is where I typically begin to accumulate assets that I'm bullish on. I start to accumulate at the 618, I get heavier at the 786, and if anything drops below the 1, I just pick up very nice large bags at that point. So personally I am bullish on silver, so this is an asset that I'm accumulating at these levels. I'm going to wait for a bit more information to develop on it, but the larger time frames are looking quite nice, and smaller time frames are showing maybe we'll have a little consolidation before a very nice next move on it. Yeah, if there's nothing that you guys want me to check out, I'll take a look at probably 1 or 2 more assets and then call it a night. Alright, so for AION, RSI on the weekly is more around the bearish control zone, stochastics coiling up like it's attempting to cross bearish, and the MACD shows just very slight bearish momentum getting weaker, and looking like some consolidation on the candles there. That would be the first bit of bearish momentum we've seen on the MACD since the 30th of January. So probably about 20 days since we've seen some bearish momentum here. Stochastic is crossed bearish, but it's coiling up like it may attempt to make a bullish cross. Slight bearish engulfing on the candles, and the RSI is more around the bearish control zone with room to go to the downside if it wants to. We got a very slight bullish divergence right here on the RSI. Looking like it's kind of attempting to hold this level for now. Bears losing momentum, stochastic close to a bullish cross. And the RSI is just kind of hanging around that 30 level for now. So on the 1 hour, stochastics crossed bearish, bulls losing momentum, bearish control zone on the RSI looking like it may attempt to drop a bit further, and it is attempting to bearishly engulf there on the candle. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see more of a pullback on AION as well. This is a very high risk asset, but I'm really liking this accumulation zone on it. The previous high was about 71 cents, so it's slightly more than a 7x from where we are now. To the highs we've seen right here, around $4. It's about a 40x roughly from where we are now. And the previous all-time highs is about 124x from where we are roughly right now. So even if we just run up to this recent high, I'd probably just sell about 15 to 20% of my bag to get my initial investment out and remove the risk at that point. It'll just be the house money either running or dumping at that point. And then from there I'll probably take a shot at hitting these higher levels here. Sell off probably 15 to 20% when we get up here. Probably another... I'd probably sell the rest to make it 50% of my bag at that point. And I'll hold the other 50% just to see if we end up hitting those previous all-time highs, which would be a phenomenal risk-reward ratio on this asset. But this is a very high-risk asset, which may not even run if we get another run-up on the crypto market. So definitely something that I'm just accumulating a smaller bag on as a little moon bag for a potential crazy run. And I'll take a look at Doge and SHIB, and then I'll probably call it a night here. So Doge, this is probably my favorite asset to be accumulating right now. We are under the 1 fib level here, so once we get below the fib levels, it's just an absolutely phenomenal risk-reward ratio on an asset that would typically be bullish. So over the long term, I think that this asset has a lot of potential, and if we do get one more run up to end this market cycle, the risk reward is absolutely great from where we are here. It's about a 5x to previous all-time highs, but if we get another run up to finish the crypto cycle, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see $1.50 on Doge, which is a bit over a 10x from where we are right now. Bearish momentum still getting stronger on the daily, stochastics coiled up. RSI is more around the bearish control zone, and I'm just seeing consolidation right here on the candles. And there was just some very significant daily bullish divergence right here as well. And now we're just seeing a long consolidation. So typically whenever we see a long coil up where it just gets tighter and tighter and we don't see a significant move, whenever it finally breaks in whichever direction, it's normally a very significant move either up or down. So the tighter that we see this starting to wind up, whenever it does eventually decide which direction to go, Doge is likely going to be in for a very nice powerful move whichever direction it decides to go. So if that does end up being a new high rally and we just break above this trend line here, I really wouldn't be surprised if Doge is one of the nicest running assets to finish the cycle if we get one more run up. Alright, so Shiba Inu. Consolidation on the weekly. Stochastic. It's bullish but coiling up a little. Right around the neutral zone on the RSI. And the daily's not looking that great. First day of bearish momentum. Stochastics crossed bearish. RSI is getting more around the bearish control zone and bearish engulfing candles here. So if it pulls back further, this is looking like a pretty solid floor here around 0.00002249 roughly. And if it breaks that support level, there's not really much holding it up besides all the way down here, which would be 0.0000968. So that'd be quite a significant drop from where we are right now. So for Shiba Inu, I would really be keeping an eye on this support level here and making sure that this ends up holding. 4-hour bearish engulfing candles as well. The RSI is getting close to oversold. Stochastics cross bullish. And the MACD's not really looking the best, just kind of cooling off a little, but right here it's looking like the bearish momentum is attempting to come back a bit. And the 1 hour is not looking nice either. RSI is currently oversold, but looks like it does still have a little room to go down further if it wants to. Bearish momentum attempting to build. Stochastics coiled up a little, but it is bearish, and I don't like the looks of that bearish engulfing candle whatsoever. So I think it's pretty likely that we're going to come down to this fib level right here, which would be the 786. So around the 786 is whenever I start to accumulate asset more heavily anyways. So if we do start to see some bullish indication on SHIB at that point, personally I'll probably pick up a nice bag at that point if I see it starting to look like a reversal if we get down to here. Alright, well I hope you all have a great night and a great weekend. I'll talk to you all on Monday.